So thank you so much, and I'm from Afghan for Peace, and I'm just here to speak on behalf of my team because we've seen that humanitarian efforts have done nothing. You can look at the state of Iraq, you can look at the state of Afghanistan, and here's my speech, so hold on. Okay, so the heinous crimes that are committed under the name of freedom and aid are a stigma to what the people of this country would want. We as a human race are not subservient to our oppressors, so they could suppress our brothers and sisters around the world. On the other side of the world, we're not blinded by greed just so it could lead us to demoralization. You can't buy our opinions by selling another unneeded war that we break our backs to pay for. We're much smarter. We still haven't forgiven you for the past 10 years of what you have done under the name of liberation. Killing innocents through the name of liberation is brutality. It is actually deplorable that some of us complied to your inhumane ways before. We're not going to watch the same futility of warfare be repeated before our eyes. The American moral police have always kept their eyes open on the crimes against humanity that take place outside their border, and Canada has always followed up. Obviously, those eyes are closed when it comes to their dear friend Israel. Now, both want to play a fair game of war, so they call out countries on the cruel and callous behavior towards their people or their threatening ways for this world. But let me just state the obvious fact that most media outlets will leave out when they promote this war through propaganda. How many deaths have taken place under these so-called democratic governments that pick and choose who they want to save? When Palestinians die, they talk about Libya. When Somalians die, they drop drones instead of food. So do we really want to hear war drums? That play the same repeated beats under humanitarian intervention or compassion for this world's security? As a person who belongs to this global village, I condemn this war, and I know all of you here feel the same. We aren't going to support decisions of a government that has time to discuss plans for Iran's threatening qualities, yet rave about how many civilians they killed in this just war of terror in Afghanistan. History as such shouldn't be repeated. We know better than that. I'm not even going to look way back in time. The past 10 years of war that have been terrorizing both sides of the world are enough examples to refuse this war. The last time I checked, the same countries promoting these sanctions and interventions on Iran are the same ones dropping cluster bombs, white phosphorus, and depleted uranium on innocent civilians. They're at no place to point fingers when their hands are soaked in blood from the ongoing massacres they have taken part in. Canadian, American, and Israeli governments should have a closer look at their actions towards the indigenous people of the lands they claim and the crimes against humanity they have committed under false fabrications, and cover them with a veil of honor. Justice isn't being served here, so we are at no position to question the ways of others, especially if you're the wrong ones to begin with. It's disgraceful that we have taken pride in destroying countries and killing people. The same country that chooses to denounce Iran for its nuclear weapons is actually the biggest arms dealer in this world. So isn't it quite ironic that a criminal nation, Israel, is accusing Iran for the crimes they themselves commit daily? These war strategies are no different than the ones in the past. Weapons of mass destruction versus nuclear weapons. They really aren't creative with their schemes. They come up with the same silly old lies each and every time. Can we please look into how much did the US spend on Predator drones in the past 10 years, or how much Harper spent on fighter jets? We would rather resort to making cheaper food fast than growing natural food because our money is better spent on an arms race that funds this modern warfare that takes every step closer to World War III. If you take a closer look at the actions of our government, you would see we're a bigger threat to this world. I know that the warmongers that sit in Ottawa this weekend will probably block off any sensible suggestions because those ears have been blocked by the sound of crispy, fresh cash. So I only speak to you, the people who hold the true power. I don't want others to bleed the same way Afghans and Iraqis have due to the action of these conspiring world leaders who only want to expand an empire, one that has never served in the best interest of Afghans or Iraqis or anyone in the past. I don't want my taxes being wasted to kill innocents. I wish it would help the indigenous people of this land first. Thank you. Let's stop fueling this war machine. Peace and love.